my nephew demanded I pay for his college, claiming, "You didn't have to struggle like my mom." When I refused, he called me privileged and lazy. He went online to shame me until I replied, "Funny how entitlement isn't taught in school. I, 54 male, live in Seattle and work in software development. I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with my younger sister Rachel, 52F. Our mother Diane raised us alone, working 2 jobs to keep us afloat. Rachel was always more rebellious, while I focused on academics, eventually earning a scholarship to Carnegie Mellon University. After college, I moved to Seattle and built a successful career. Rachel stayed in Pittsburgh, had a son named Tyler, now 18, and faced financial struggles. Over the years, I sent money during tough times and even covered some of Tyler's school expenses. A few months ago, Rachel called me. Tyler had been accepted into a private university in New York, and she asked if I could help with the tuition. I was surprised. While I had helped in the past, covering an entire college tuition was a significant commitment. I explained that I couldn't afford to pay for Tyler's college, but was willing to assist in other ways, like helping him find scholarships or offering guidance. Rachel seemed disappointed but understood. However, Tyler had a different reaction. He called me, accusing me of being selfish and claiming that I owed him because I had a better life than his mother. He said, "You didn't have to struggle like my mom. You owe us." A few days later, I noticed a post on Facebook from Tyler, tagging me and accusing me of abandoning family and being privileged. The post read, "Imagine having a rich uncle who refuses to help his own nephew go to college. Must be nice to forget where you came from." The post gained traction, with some of Tyler's friends and even distant family members commenting in support. I was hurt and angry. I had always tried to help, and now I was being vilified online. I decided to respond with a simple comment. "Funny how entitlement isn't taught in school." My comment sparked a heated debate. Some people supported me, while others sided with Tyler. I received messages from family members, some expressing disappointment, others offering support. I realized that this situation had exposed underlying tensions within our family. I decided to take a step back from social media and focus on my own well-being. I also reached out to Rachel, expressing my disappointment in how Tyler handled the situation. She apologized and said she would talk to him. A few weeks later, I received a handwritten letter from Tyler. He apologized for his behavior, admitting that he was overwhelmed and lashed out unfairly. He said he understood that I had helped in the past and was grateful for it. He also mentioned that he had applied for scholarships and was considering more affordable college options. I appreciated the apology and responded with a letter of my own, encouraging him to pursue his education and offering to help in ways that were feasible for me. We began rebuilding our relationship, and over time, the wounds healed. Family dynamics can be complex, especially when it comes to financial matters. It's essential to set boundaries and communicate openly. While it's natural to want to help loved ones, it's also important to ensure that assistance doesn't lead to entitlement. In the end, mutual respect and understanding are key to maintaining healthy relationships. The apology felt good to read, but something about it didn't sit right. I didn't bring it up. Maybe I didn't want to ruin the one decent moment after weeks of online humiliation. Still, my gut kept nudging me. It felt too smooth, too crafted, like someone had told him what to say. A week later, my coworker Dana forwarded me a TikTok video. "Isn't this your nephew?" she asked. I opened it. There was Tyler, standing in his messy bedroom, holding up a whiteboard with "Story time, how my rich uncle refused to help his family even though he could." Dramatic music played in the background while screenshots of my Facebook profile flashed behind him. He exaggerated everything, said I lived in a mansion, called me a tech millionaire, not even close, and claimed I refused to pay because I hate poor people. He had thousands of likes. The comments were full of strangers trashing me. People were calling me a monster, a narcissist, a failed human being. They didn't know me, but Tyler had given them a villain, and they were happy to throw stones. I was stunned. He had sent me a handwritten apology while using my name to gain internet sympathy and clout. The letter wasn't real, it was a cover. I didn't respond right away. I couldn't. I felt betrayed. And more than that, I felt foolish. I'd been patient. I'd been kind. I'd helped raise this kid from a distance. And this is what I got. Rachel hadn't said anything. She either didn't know or didn't care. So I called her. She picked up, voice casual, like we were chatting about the weather. Did you know Tyler's making videos about me? Silence. Rachel? I told him to stop, she said. So she didn't know. You told him to stop, but not to take them down. She didn't answer that. I let the silence hang for a while. Then I said, he's lying about me. Publicly. You're okay with that? He's just upset. He's young. No. He's vindictive. He's using me to get likes. That's not being young. That's being calculated. She started to cry. Not the gut-wrenching, full-body kind of cry. The quiet, manipulative kind. I recognized it. She used to do it when we were kids, turn on the tears when Mom caught her stealing from my backpack or lying about skipping school. I don't know what you want me to say, she sniffled. I want you to act like a parent. Click. She hung up. That night, I did something I hadn't done in years. I logged into Reddit and posted the entire story, names changed, of course. I didn't do it for sympathy. I needed somewhere to vent where I wouldn't get gaslighted into thinking I was crazy. The post blew up. Hundreds of comments came in. Some people related to me. Some were angry for me. A few even said I should press charges. I didn't want that. But reading people validate how I felt? That helped more than I expected. Then came the DMs. Is this about that kid Tyler Dude 99 on TikTok? Yo, I think your nephew is talking about you again. He's live streaming. You're trending. He was back at it. This time he was saying I had a secret second family in California and that's why I wouldn't help them. He showed a photo of me at a work retreat in Napa and spun a whole story about how I was hiding a son and wife from my real family. It was complete fiction. But people ate it up. The part that broke me? He started selling deadbeat uncle merch. Shirts. Mugs. Hoodies. My face cartoonized with a speech bubble. Funny how entitlement isn't taught in school. He used my own words. I called a lawyer. I didn't want to. But it had gone too far. He was profiting from my name. And I had proof of everything, screenshots, videos, the apology letter that now felt like a prop in a long con. The lawyer said we had a case. Defamation? Misuse of likeness? False light? Even copyright on the phrase, if I wanted to go that far. I wasn't sure I could sue my own nephew. But when I thought about it, it wasn't really about money. It was about accountability. While we prepared a cease and desist, I did something else. Quietly, calmly, I reached out to one of Tyler's high school teachers I knew from years ago. I asked if he remembered Tyler. He did. And he told me something I hadn't known. He was smart, the teacher said. But lazy. Expected everything handed to him. Thought the rules didn't apply to him. Sounded familiar. You know, the teacher added. He once forged a fake scholarship letter and tried to post it around school to impress people. That hit hard. This kid wasn't spiraling. He'd been like this for a while. We just didn't see it. The lawyer sent the cease and desist a week later. Tyler ignored it. So we filed the paperwork. That's when the real fireworks began. The lawsuit filing hit harder than I expected. It wasn't just a paper move anymore, this was real. Tyler got served at home. And within 2 hours of receiving the documents, he was live on TikTok again. Except this time, he was crying. Real tears. Or at least it looked real to the internet. He titled the stream, "My Own Uncle is Suing Me. I Just Wanted Help." It exploded online. He spun the story like I was ruining his future, that I was using my money and influence to silence him, that I was heartless for taking legal action against my own blood. The comments poured in. He's a monster, you'll win, Tyler, canceled the uncle. But he made one mistake. He showed the envelope on camera, my lawyer's logo clearly visible. He zoomed in and said, "Look at this. Look what rich people do when they get called out." Someone in the comments must have looked up the lawyer's firm. Within an hour, trolls were flooding the firm's review pages with fake complaints, one-star ratings, wild accusations. I got a furious call from my attorney. "We're tightening up." This just became high profile. I was numb. That same night, I got an email from my HR department at work. They'd received concerns about me from anonymous sources claiming I was emotionally abusive to family and hostile online. The links they attached? Tyler's TikTok. That hit me in the gut. My job is the one place I keep private. Clean record. Good performance. No drama. Now it was bleeding into that too. I met with HR. Thankfully, they believed me. One of the managers had actually seen Tyler's videos and said, "We've been following the story. He's playing the victim hard, but it doesn't hold up under scrutiny." Still, they advised me to keep a low profile. That same week, I got another email. Subject line, college fund withdrawn, Tyler, redacted. It was from a small scholarship foundation in Pennsylvania. One I had helped connect Tyler to, years ago, through a friend of mine on the board. Apparently, one of the board members had seen Tyler's videos, and more importantly, the merch he was selling. He had been awarded a $5,000 community scholarship. But under their code of conduct, any behavior that publicly defames, harasses, or exploits others for personal gain disqualifies recipients. They revoked it. I didn't celebrate. I didn't even smile. Honestly, it made me sick. But the internet didn't know. They still saw him as the underdog. Until 2 days later. A college admissions officer reached out to me. She was from the private university in New York that Tyler claimed had accepted him. She had seen the videos, especially the parts where he accused me of sabotaging his chance at education and refusing to pay for NYU after he was accepted. Her email was short. "We wanted to confirm whether Tyler, redacted, had any relationship to you. He listed you as a financial co-signer on his application. Also, we have no record of a current or former acceptance letter issued to him." I stared at it for a long time. He'd never gotten in. He lied. About the college. About being accepted. About everything. I replied, confirmed who I was, and asked if they could send me documentation showing no record of his acceptance. They did. He forged the entire college story. Which made sense. No acceptance meant no tuition. No tuition meant he was never expecting me to actually pay. He just needed a villain to validate the grift. I sent everything to my lawyer. We amended the suit. The TikTok followers started to trickle away after a Reddit post from a verified user, who turned out to be a guidance counselor from Tyler's high school, broke down every lie he told. She didn't name him, but it was obvious who she meant. "I warned his mom. I warned him. Some people grow up bitter, not better." Tyler posted one last video. It was just a black screen with text. "You win, uncle. Congrats on destroying my life." Then he went silent. His merch store disappeared. His TikTok went private. The fake stories stopped. Rachel messaged me the next day. She didn't say sorry. She didn't explain. Just, "You didn't have to take it this far." That message sat in my inbox for a week before I finally replied. "You should have stopped him when you had the chance." After that message, I blocked Rachel. I didn't care to hear her excuses anymore. She wasn't innocent. She watched it all happen. She didn't stop him. She didn't speak up. She let her son ruin people's lives online because it made her feel powerful, like her failures weren't her fault if someone else took the fall. The court date came faster than I expected. Tyler didn't show up in person, just his lawyer, who looked like she wanted to be anywhere else. My team presented everything: the fake acceptance letter, the merch with my face, the TikToks, the forged scholarship letter from years ago. His lawyer didn't argue much. There was no defense. Just some half-baked request to drop the charges in exchange for a public apology, and pulling down the merch. My lawyer shut it down immediately. "We're past apologies." The judge didn't even blink before ruling in my favor. $75,000 in damages. It wasn't about the money. I didn't need it. But I wasn't going to let him walk away untouched. I took the judgment and donated every cent to scholarship funds for low-income students. Real students. Kids who worked hard and didn't lie to get ahead. I sent the donation receipt to Rachel. She never replied. Tyler's name quietly started to vanish from the internet. TikTok pulled his account for breaking community guidelines. People stopped talking about him. I heard through someone that he dropped out of community college and moved back in with Rachel. He was working at a vape shop part-time. Last I checked, he still hadn't found a full-time job. Months later, I was at a gas station back in Pittsburgh, visiting an old friend. I heard someone call my name. It was Tyler. He looked different. Worn down. Older somehow. The fake charm was gone. He walked up, awkward eyes on the ground. "I lost everything," he said. I nodded. "That tends to happen when you burn every bridge you walk on." "I was just angry," he mumbled. "At everything. My mom, life being broke. I thought, if I could just make people care, maybe someone would help." "You mean lie? You thought lying would fix your life?" He didn't respond. "I didn't owe you anything," I said. "Not your school, not your bills, not your life. You took kindness and twisted it into a weapon. That's why you lost." He looked like he wanted to say something. Maybe argue. Maybe cry. But he just turned around and walked back to his car. Beat up, cracked windshield, duct tape on the bumper. I watched him drive away. I got in my car and left. Some people say revenge doesn't solve anything. But sometimes, it doesn't need to solve anything. It just needs to make sure the lesson lands. Hard. Tyler got his lesson. And I got my peace.